Trump's chief of staff, John Kelly, was asked why we're in Niger. And his response, or actually, you know what? I'm mispronouncing that, and people have called me out on it. Níger. But his response is pretty baffling.
Great deal of respect, Semper Fi, for everything that you've ever done. But if we could take this a bit further, why were they in Niger? What was, we were told they weren't in armored vehicles and there was no air cover. So what are the specifics about this particular incident, and why were we there? And why are we there?
Well, I would start by saying there is an investigation. Now, let me back up and say, the fact of the matter is, young men and women that wear our uniform are deployed around the world in their tens of thousands. Near the DMZ in North Korea, in Okinawa, waiting to go, in South Korea, in Okinawa, ready to go, all over the United States, training, ready to go. They're all over Latin America. Down there, they do mostly drug interdiction, working with our partners, our great partners, the Colombians, the Central Americans, the Mexicans. You know, there's thousands. My own son right now back in the fight for his 5th tour against ISIS. There's thousands of them in Europe, acting as a deterrent. And they're throughout Africa. And they're doing the nation's work there. And not making a lot of money, by the way, doing it. They love what they do. So why were they there? They're there working with partners, local Africa, all across Africa in this case, Niger, working with partners, teaching them how to be better soldiers, teaching them how to respect human rights, teaching them how to fight ISIS, so that we don't have to send our soldiers and Marines there in their thousands. That's what they were doing there. Now, there is an investigation. There's always unless it's a very, very conventional death in a conventional war, there's always an investigation. Of course, that operation is conducted by AFRICOM, that is, of course, works directly for the Secretary of Defense. There is I talked to Jim Mattis this morning. I think he made statements this afternoon. There's an investigation ongoing. An investigation doesn't mean anything was wrong. An investigation doesn't mean people's heads are going to roll. The fact is, they need to find out what happened and why it happened. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand that these young people, and sometimes old guys, put on the uniform, go to where we send them to protect our country. Sometimes they go in large numbers to invade Iraq and invade Afghanistan. Sometimes they're working in small units, working with our partners in Africa, Asia, Latin America, helping them be better. But at the end of the day, they're helping those partners be better at fighting ISIS in North Africa to protect our country so that we don't have to send large numbers of troops.
Wow. That is a heaping, steaming pile of bullshit if I've ever heard it. Oh, man. I thought Trump was bad. I mean, that's like let me give you the sober tone and the respectability of a general and now give you complete and utter nonsense, American exceptionalist, pathetic fucking garbage. So let's go through this. Best question I've ever seen in the modern era from the media. Credit to whoever the fuck that guy was. Why are we there? What a great question. Hey, a U.S. soldier just got killed in Niger. Why are we there? Why are we there? I love how every other outlet just kind of grandfathered that in, like, I guess we're there. What the fuck is that? Why are we there? Why are we there? Okay. His response is, first he says basically, we're everywhere. That doesn't answer the question. That just leads to more questions. You see? When they go, why are we there? And your response is, we're everywhere. Well, then I go, well, why are we everywhere? Why are we in Niger? Why are we in Somalia? Why are we in Pakistan? Why are we in Libya? Why are we in Syria? You can go down the list. There's fucking endless. Why do we have 900 military bases around the world at a cost of $100 billion a year to maintain when we don't even have a functioning infrastructure? Our infrastructure gets a grade of D+. Flint, Michigan doesn't have clean water. And yet we're spending $100 billion a year just to maintain our bases. Our bases. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We don't even have universal health care. 45,000 people die every year because they don't have access to basic health care. And you're just like, yeah, we're everywhere. So then he goes from that to, I love this. This is so Orwellian. Well, look, we're there so that we don't have to send more troops there. Huh? So he goes, hey, why are we there? That's the journalist. The response is, listen, we're there because we're training people to make it so that we don't have to send more people there. So in other words, now do you notice what he did there? He shifted the debate. Now you have two options. One option is be okay with a lower number of people there. The other option is do all-out ground invasions everywhere. Well, what if we want neither? What if the American people are unequivocal in the fact that they want neither? How about that? What if that's more in favor of the troops? What if that's a more pro-troop position? To say, let's not be there. Let's not be there. Because there's no reason to fucking be there. And I don't want young American men and women dying for no good reason. And then he goes to the old canard of, we're there to protect our country. Really? We need to be in Níger to protect our country. Why do we need to be there? Níger, however you pronounce it. Why do we need to be there? You didn't establish why we need to be there to protect our... Something ISIS. I got news for you, buddy. First of all, all the reports now are that it wasn't even ISIS that did this. It was Boko Haram. Boko Haram, a while back, they claimed allegiance to ISIS, but there's no connection with actual ISIS. So what do you... See, what they do here is... Their whole argument is based on you not thinking deeply about it and connecting the dots. It's all the same. Terrorists. We're against terrorists. There's fucking... Well, under the terrorist banner, they include Al-Qaeda, they include the Taliban, they include ISIS, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab. You go down the list. We're not talking about people that have proven plots to attack the U.S., but where they're attacking them. So then you don't get to say, hey, we're protecting our country. No, that's not true. There is zero evidence of many of these groups having the ability to attack the U.S. or the plans to do so. So again, that's just going to protect the U.S. So it doesn't matter where we go. It's just by definition to protect us. But what if it's literally not to protect us? Then you are lying. You are lying to continue the empire. Just like Smedley Butler said, war's a racket. And finally, I love my favorite rationalization is, we're there to help these people learn how to protect human rights. Says the country that just invaded a country that didn't attack us, Iraq, killed minimum 200,000 civilians. The United Nations said, don't do it, you're not allowed to do it. We passed the Patriot Act, no more due process, no more habeas corpus, no more protection from unreasonable search and seizure. We have Guantanamo Bay open, NSA spying on everybody, torture scandal, toppled foreign governments all around the world post-World War II to put in our puppet leaders, fascist leaders. There were just government documents that were declassified this week that speak about the role in a genocide in Indonesia. Guess what? The U.S. didn't just stand by as that happened. We actively helped in facilitating the genocide. We're the only country that dropped nuclear weapons and obliterated hundreds of thousands of civilians. How many? About 1 million civilians we killed in Vietnam. If you poll people across the world, the overwhelming majority say the U.S. is the biggest threat to world peace. And this guy's like, well, look, we're there to help show people how to protect human rights. By doing torture? By doing illegal wars of aggression? Listen, unwind the empire, unwind the empire, unwind. Even if you cut U.S. military spending by 50%, we'd still have the biggest military in the world by far and away. But these guys don't even want to do that. They give smug, condescending answers when you ask why we're somewhere we shouldn't be.